Let's check in with Dustborn, shall we? It's been a couple of weeks since we talked about this, and well, for the 2 people that are out there, bro, like, is this just people out there trying to get some clips for some cringe compilations or something like that? Or maybe the 9 people over the past 24 hours that have checked out this abomination. Maybe these are the type of people that the game's director is trying to make these crap games for, because holy man, if you can't see that your development strategy doesn't appeal to anybody, if you can't see that the modern audience is 1000% a myth, I don't know what to tell you. You are so far beyond reproach. I hope you find Narnia, you're so deep in the closet, my guy. Dustborn director refuses to admit game was a flop, rejects criticism regarding the story's writing. Well, I mean, it was a joke. It would have been a great parody, but you're trying to say it was delivered in earnest? Then, brother, should have took the out, because if you have a game where you unironically have your protagonist weaponize bullying, canceling, and othering, she's prompted to yell, "That's racist," as a means to disrupt and interrupt a conversation, like, you have to realize that nobody wants this. Again, great parody, but overall baffling a decision. We don't feel we've made a game that's primarily about politics. Bro, everything about this is political. Your entire game is about a fascist takeover of the United States and a group of rebels trying to fight back to get it. How is it not about politics? Quick question, dear readers, in regards to Dustborn, which is set in an alternate fascist version of the United States, depicted said regime enforcers rejecting the idea of politics and entertainment, and had players using the idea of canceling someone as a genuine combat mechanic. Would you consider the game to be an explicitly political one, or one whose politics were incidental to its adventure? Yeah, exactly. It lays it out right there. That's what the game's about. No. If you are Ragnar Tørnquist, the CEO of Dustborn developer Red Thread Games, you would believe that no, the game's apolitical, and that critics accusing it of being such are completely off base. Right. And trying to get a little bit more information out of Ragnar, well, you're shit out of luck, at least over on Twitter, because he put his tweets in protected mode, and he's gone on quite the blocking spree. But we got some brilliance out of this wayward soul. Tornquist, who has served as the game's director, offered his thoughts on players' rejection of his studio's latest games during a recent interview given to Mikkel Loning, editor-in-chief of Norway-based video games outlet Gamer.no, on the subject of the Dustborn backlash. Is it so much a backlash, or everybody just looking at that going, "That's not real"? Oh, it's real? Oh, that's funny as hell. To start, the dev was directly asked by his host about the accusations that the game was pushing a woke agenda. Well, I mean, if it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's whatever in the blue hell is driving that vehicle, which the developer asserted it caught us completely off guard. We were very surprised by the extreme reaction to the launch, and we had no plan for how to handle it. Well, you're really dumb then, huh? To be fair, if you couldn't handle 83 people, did you have big aspirations for your game? From there, Tornquist, a turn to speak on an alleged wave of harassment and death. Yeah, I'm sure. Just running back the same old playbook. Nobody cared, bro. Everybody was too busy laughing at this going, serious? What? Nobody was harassing you. Get out of here. And his team had supposedly received from critics, yes, admitting to Loning, you can easily ignore what's said on forums or on X. Yeah, exactly. It's even easier when you just go into protected mode. Emails feel a little closer to home, but receiving text messages where somebody wishes you dead is unsettling. Yeah, I would imagine so. And I'm sure you provided those to the journalist, of course, where you could go ahead and redact any of the personal information, right? We're a tiny studio. Exactly. Just a tiny European government and Norwegian government funded studio. We're just the little guys. That's why it feels so blown out of proportion when we experience so many attacks and conspiracies. It takes a toll. It's been really tough to deal with this, Tornquist continued. We're used to people not liking our games. Did you do anything to maybe fix that perception? No? You just doubled down. Cool. But we appreciate well-argued reviews, even if they're negative. Right. The difference here is the massive amount of negative feedback from people who have never played the game. Well, that's a vast majority of, actually, that's like 99.9% of the world who hasn't played this trash, and never will. They just jump on the bandwagon of those making videos. Yeah, because you basically have a playable novel. Like, it's just all quick time events. You can extract everything that this game has on offer from a long play, from a let's play, from somebody offering commentary, or just simply simply it being presented in earnest. You don't have to play this to experience the story and know just how trash it is. We have to take these threats seriously. Are you going to talk about your game and how bad it is, or are you just going to say, please feel bad for me because I have... What was that? What is it? Threats? Hair threat? Death threat. Right. We got those. We got a lot of them. Trust me, bro. Fortunately, most of the team hasn't been directly targeted. Yeah, exactly. We just get them in our inbox, I guess. It's tough to see people talk about their work, calling them incompetent or lazy. Well, they are incompetent. Like, if you present a game like this, how can you... I would rather chalk it up to incompetence as opposed to malice, but if you just want to say that you guys did this purposefully and you were trying to make the most inflammatory game possible, yeah, I'll call you stupid all day long, because that's what you are. Or saying that we should quit making games. It's obviously difficult for us. Well, yeah, you made a bad basic game and you couldn't even pull that off. So yeah, maybe video games aren't for you. Turning to discuss the game's actual content. Oh, here we go. Loning then moved to ask his guest if he had expected any debate over some of the more obviously politically correct aspects of the game. In turn, Tornquist explained, yes, but we were never out. We were never out to provoke. Bro, we just wanted to make a game with characters that are different. You did do that, but again, you can interrupt people by yelling they're racist. You weaponize cancel culture. You say that bullying and othering people is a good thing. Like, how did you not know that was provoking? We didn't think it would be so controversial that a group would fight against a fascist regime. Yeah, and it technically wouldn't be if you made up a fictitious one, but you made it the U.S. government. Come on, man. I don't think many people want to live in a police state, and our version of the U.S. is by no means the real America. Right. We didn't want to be provocative. We just sent it in an alternate reality, real place, United States of America. Okay. To this end, Loning also pressed his guest as to the criticism of Dustborne's highlights of each character's personal pronouns, including those who use non-standard ones. The use of pronouns has become relatively established in games. Yeah, see, it's been normalized, except for whenever it's implemented, people just look at that and go, yeah, that's not a game I'm going to play. Take a look at Starfield, look at the upcoming Dragon Age, the Veilguard, as perfect examples of games that are dead on arrival for pushing this crap, and you think that it's been well established. Good stuff. And we knew people could react to that. Oh, but you didn't want to make it a provocative game, right? But it was the reality we wanted to present. We don't feel we've made a game. It's primarily... Oh, that's primarily about politics. Right. It's more about language and relationship between people. Yeah, it's more about language, right? Calling an individual a they, them, using a plural to describe an individual. It's about language and its perversion. For the next question, Loning bluntly asked Tornquist if Dustborne's aforementioned combat system, which invites players to cancel or trigger or even bully their opponents, was actually supposed to be satire. However, rather than a direct answer, Tornquist instead opined, I think the game speaks for itself. Okay. It speaked, we listened, it was bad, but it's over the top in many ways. So is it a satire? Is this a Malignant type situation where is it supposed to be a satire of the horror genre? Or an Andy Kaufman where he just lives the joke so long you don't even know what's real? Is that what's happening? It's colorful, inspired by comic books. Right. Has fight sequences against giant robotic mascots, and it has a satirical view of the world. It doesn't take itself very seriously. Right. I hope people can see the game and understand that it's an alternate world. Something that also applies to the story. The game has a dystopian reflection of the world, but the story is not written for realism. It's done with humor and exaggeration, is very much tongue-in-cheek. Right. So it is a satire, only when it's not being a satire, because you wanted it to be about characters and language. Right. So with this explanation made, Tornquist then turned to the game's critics and argued, it seems that people twist everything we say with malicious intent. Right. So he's doing the thing that I'm not doing here. I'm trying to give this guy the benefit of the doubt, but he's out there saying that, oh, critics, yeah, they're just all bad faith actors out there. Oh, okay. Oh, we've created a narrative that Red Thread is corrupt and making propaganda. And the fact is that we've made a game that we want to talk about and share with others. It's not for everyone, and they don't have to play it. Yes, just straw man it to the world. Oh yeah, we're just corrupt propaganda makers. Well, I mean, you filed out for a grant that had to fulfill certain prerequisites, some in which include, pushing certain ideologies in order to get the grant money. But no, it's not propaganda at all. And no, you're not corrupt. I would say that the European and Norwegian governments are, but okay. On the subject of the game's potential audience, Loning inquired with his guest as to whether or not Dustborn, as claimed by critics on its currently abysmal Steam sale numbers, per analytics on SteamDB, the game is the best sold 7,000 copies through that specific platform, truly as a sales flop. Dustborn's not a flop. Yeah, because we got more money through government grants than we needed to recoup through sales. So of course it's not a flop. The game has received mixed reviews. Yeah, from the people that played it, they're like, this is absolute trash. And from the critics, they're going, very stunning, very brave. So I guess that makes it mixed. But also, a lot of positive feedback. Those who actually play the game seem to enjoy it. I mean, no, that's just not the case. You're a liar. He's a dirty. This guy's a phony. Dustborn isn't selling as much as we would like, but we're proud of it, and I think it's a good game. Okay, Ragnar's sounding an awful lot like somebody else that we've talked about quite a bit in 2024. He sounds like Russell T Davies trying to shill for the recent disaster with Doctor Who. Yeah, the sales, the numbers, the views, the ratings, they aren't quite what they are, but no, the reboot of Doctor Who isn't failing. In fact, it's such a great success that we're just waiting for season 3 to be picked up. Oh, don't worry about it. It's great. It's fantastic. Yeah, no, the people that watch it really love it. We're super popular with a very niche demographic. Trust me, that's exactly what's playing out right here. No, Dustborn isn't a flop. It's actually great, and the people who play it love it. It's just all of those mean bigots that are out there. Even though it's not an immediate success, it has sold far more than what people are saying online. I can say that. Oh, okay, cool. Our internal goals for Dustborn haven't been met, but that doesn't mean it's a flop, right? Because, just taking a look at the trends means that eventually, hey, you know what? We haven't quite got there yet, but slowly but surely people will be checking this out, okay? Over the past month that it's been out, I mean, you take a look at that, and hey, at least 2 people are playing it. It's still out there in the zeitgeist. It can take months and years for story-driven games like this to find their audience, so we're not dissatisfied. Hey, man, at least he's the eternal optimist, right? He's just hoping that somebody, one of the big Let's Players, one of the big streamers out there picks this up, and just through sheer memeage, this ends up becoming an overnight sensation. But here's the thing, man. Just take the L. Realize that games like this, politically woke games like yours just don't sell. They don't resonate with anybody. You're trying to target the modern audience. You swung, you missed. If you would have released this 5-10 years ago, it might have been a little bit more successful. But when it's all said and done, this time next year, nobody's even going to remember your game. And hell, Red Thread Studios, if it wasn't for all of the government cheese you guys are eating, you'd be closing up shop with the likes of Ubisoft, BioWare, and Rocksteady. You'd all be in the same boat. And hey, potentially, you guys might be able to live out that Dustborn dream, driving from town to town trying to stop the fascists, because you won't have any jobs holding you back anymore. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.